Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome back again. Once again, my name is Craig, and today we are going to be bringing you an article by FamilyAddictionSpecialist.com. Just a reminder, a friendly reminder that May is Mental Health Month. Okay, May is Mental Health Month, and so we want to be cognizant of that. And so, as you may know or may not know, a lot of times, a lot of us that's in the addiction field or those who have lived experience with addiction may or may not have experienced some type of mental health. And so mental health has a stigma that we want to dispel of so that people don't be fearful because of the stereotype. You can get well and healthy if you see the professional help that if you need it. And so just as substance abuse, physical health, also you can get well with mental health. Without further ado, I have someone here who is joining us live. He's in the building of Capital Recovery Center. And if you want to introduce yourself, you say hello to the people.
Hello, I'm here visiting Capital Recovery Center. Excited to learn about this class today.
Yeah, absolutely. So Andy is here and he is joining us. He is someone who's doing a training with him and I. We're doing training together. And so he's going to be joining us as well. We don't have to get into the particulars. And so let's move forward. The introduction. Oh, let's see what the article, what's the title of the article? First of all, 10 lessons of addiction recovery that are rooted in psychology. I told you this is, even though there's some mentoring group, support group, this is also Mental Health Awareness Month. And so we're going to be talking about 10 lessons of addiction recovery that are rooted in psychology. So this article starts off by reading, it says, recovery from addiction is much more than mere abstinence from a substance or a behavior. Abstinence can be and usually is a fundamental component of addiction recovery process, but abstinence does not necessarily equate to recovery. According to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration, a branch of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, recovery is a process of change through which people improve their health and wellness, live self-directed lives, and strive to reach their full potential. Through the addiction recovery process, people can drastically change and improve their physical health, mental health, spiritual health, financial health, relationships, parenting skills, career capabilities, and the trajectory of their overall general life. The possibilities are endless. This article says the possibilities are endless. But in addition, did you read that as addiction to drastic life change in all areas of life, recovery from addiction also teaches many valuable lessons. Below are just a handful of important lessons that can be learned through the addiction recovery process that have psychological undertones. Wow. We have to be mindful of that, Andy, a lot of undertones. Are you aware of that? People with addiction has a lot of undertone.
Like what's an undertone?
Undertone. It can be something, an underlying effect, a root cause of why someone behaved the way they behave.
Like trauma. Like
It could be trauma.
Something happened to a kid, and then they end up addicted.
Yeah, anger, emotional, anxiety, depression. So that's a lot of stuff that the professional people make mention of. I am just a recovery coach, and so I let the professional be the professional. And Andy and I, we're just going to elaborate.
Yeah, we're just peers. Like,
We
we're
just
not-
peers. Absolutely, we're just peers. And so, Andy, I'll read the first one, and if you like, if you just want to sit back, you let me know how you feeling today. All right?
Yeah, I feel really good today.
All right, wonderful. Glad to know that you're feeling wonderful. And so
Got a vacation. I got a little break coming up this weekend. So
this weekend,
yeah,
what's going
I'm
on?
going to the treatment I got out of. They do a reunion each year where all the guys that graduated and finished,
Yeah,
they come back and get together. And so that they're doing
Nice.
that this weekend.
like an alumni type thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh man, so y'all get to share or it just...
Yeah, we get to share. We get to stay overnight at this campground.
Really?
Yeah.
Where you at? What?
It's called America's Keswick.
What else that? What?
It's in Whiting, so like it's
New Jersey?
in New Jersey. Yep, like an hour and a half north of here.
Oh man, that sounds like a nice place, man.
Yeah,
Was it nice or beautiful?
it's a beautiful campus. Yeah, and then the people. I mean, you're with a bunch of other guys that are sick and suffering, so there's a little.
From all over?
Yeah, there's
United States, different parts of the United States?
mostly South Jersey.
South Jersey, Whiting, New Jersey. I think I heard of that. Whiting, New Jersey.
Then they have a wall. They'll put up pictures because it's like we know in this disease, not everybody recovers, not everybody makes it out alive. And
Wow.
so it is a pretty somber weekend too, because there's on Saturday night we flash up the pictures of the people that have passed that have been there, and we remember them for everything.
Wow, that's great, man. Because we do something similar to that, man. For Cumberland County Human Services, every year we do a suicide commemoration and an overdose awareness memorial thing as well. So that is a great. I'm glad you mentioned that. I hope you have a lot of fun.
I think I will.
And hey, man, kudos to all those who are doing well in the field of recovery and doing their sobriety. And so, hey, sound like some good stuff. I never was invited to something like that. Maybe because I did my recovery somewhere else. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the first subject. All right. Number one, out of the 10 lessons of addiction recovery that we're going to talk about, and that is life has meaning and purpose. Okay? This article says every individual construct their own sense of meaning and purpose in their life. The feeling that life has meaning and purpose can come from a variety of areas, such as career, family, nature, or spirituality, and religiosity, among others. Sobriety can often be a catalyst of one's sense of meaning and purpose in the world in a variety of ways, be it by being a better parent, a better colleague, a better friend, a better worker, a better member of the community, having a better sense of their spiritual experience on earth, and so on. Furthermore, many individuals in recovery from addiction have found that their suffering during active addiction has led them to a personal transformation. And in some instances, their experiences are used to help others with similar struggles. Giving back is very important to many in recovery from addiction, and in many instances, and central to their sobriety, the 12-step philosophy of Alcoholics Anonymous establishes one alcoholic helping another alcoholic as one's primary purpose. Each one reach one. Okay? Having a sense of meaning and purpose in life is extremely important to one's general well-being and quality of life, impacting us physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, rationally, and every which way in between. Viktor Frankl, an Australian neurologist, psychologist, and Holocaust survivor, believed that meaning and purpose are fundamental to the human experience and credit his own meaning and purpose in life as his survival mechanism during the Holocaust. Recovery from any illness such as an addiction can be a great catalyst for finding one's meaning and purpose in life, and is a valuable lesson in addiction recovery. Wow. such powerful stuff. So being able to overcome, whether it be addiction, mental health, as the article make mention of someone who overcame the Holocaust itself, which was something that they had to endure. And so, hey, if you can, the whole thing is life has meaning and purpose, okay? And so value your loved ones, value your life, value your recovery, and always, as this article talks about the 12-step Alcoholic Anonymous, one person helping another person is so important. So we got to help each other as a community. All right, enough of me rambling. Let's go on to the next one.
Self-esteem comes from within.
Nice.
Self-esteem can be defined as one's attitude towards themselves. More specifically, do they have a positive or negative view of themselves? Self-esteem is an extremely important component of mental well-being. Abraham Maslow included esteem in his hierarchy of needs as being fundamental to an individual's psychological needs, although his view of esteem was a more external sense of esteem, but nonetheless connected to self-esteem. Oftentimes, individuals who are addicted are plagued by immense feelings of shame and guilt due to the rippling impact of their addiction on themselves and on their loved ones, leading to a negative sense of self. Furthermore, being unable to reduce the frequency of their addiction or stop altogether implies weak will. Although that is not true, please read number 6. Due to a combination of such factors, addicted individuals often have low self-worth. In turn, low self-worth often exacerbates one's substance use or addictive behavior. The individual finds solace in their addiction as it tends to either distract or numb them from their feelings of inferiority and insecurity, and also serves to give a false sense of confidence. While all substances can serve these purposes, certain substances, often depressants such as opioids, heroin, oxycodone, or fentanyl, alcohol, and benzodiazepines, Xanax, Klonopin, or Ativan, do a particular good job of numbing emotional pain, while other substances, often stimulants, such as cocaine and amphetamine, Adderall, dexedrine, modafinil, methamphetamine, do a particular good job of providing a false sense of confidence. Addiction recovery often naturally results in an increased sense of worth and self-esteem merely by being able to stop engaging in an addictive behavior and putting aside the compromising behaviors that often coincide with addiction. Furthermore, addiction recovery teaches individuals to build their sense of worth and esteem by doing the right thing. Additionally, individuals in recovery from addiction are often able to rebuild their relationships, their careers, their health, and other such important life areas that improve their sense of self-respect, confidence, and dignity. Such issues often worked on with addiction professionals during the addiction treatment process.
Wow. Man, you're a good reader. Some of the words that you read, those medicals, those substances, like that you read was very on key, on point. But what I really like was it talks about how those who are in recovery can rebuild themselves to a greater self-worth through their self-esteem. And also this is done by, as this article make mention, and I believe with the help of a professional, because especially during the treatment process. And so the reason I make mention of that, because a lot of times those who may see a recovery coach may think that we are counselors or therapists. And as a recovery coach, we don't fit that criteria. And so we always say that if you need some type of treatment from whether it be substance abuse or mental health, go see a professional person who went to school for that.
That's right.
I didn't go to school for it, so
Yeah.
you neither? All right, so that'll be our recommendation for anyone. If you're going through some type of or you need help with substance abuse or mental health, please seek professional advice.
Yeah. As a recovery coach, I just share my experience
Yeah,
with people.
that's
And I
right.
point them in a direction to get help, and I've been helped by different places at different times. And so
Yeah,
I hope to be able to point people in the right direction when they're searching for something.
absolutely. Experience, strength, and hope.
That's right.
That's what we give. All right, as peers. All right, we non-judgmental. This is a non-judgmental zone over here. Yes, sir. Let's go to number 3. Gratitude holds great power. The article says a grateful alcoholic or addict does not use is a common phrase tossed around the addiction recovery community. Gratitude is frequently a key component of the addiction recovery process, frequently encouraged by addiction professionals with their patients as well as in mutual help meetings such as Alcoholics Anonymous. Addiction recovery teaches individuals that even when life does not appear to be going your way, there's always something to be grateful for. Wow. Gratitude holds great value. I like that. This is important because gratitude plays a fundamental role in our mood, our behavior, and our outlook on life. Studies reflect that gratitude improves one's mental health, decision-making, relationships, resilience, sleep, empathy, and much more. As such, not only are individuals who are in a state of gratitude less likely to relapse on their addictive behavior, but they are also likely to have an overall higher quality of life. Wow. And so I believe that all the points that we just went over, I believe they hold true to how you think and how you may respond to the way you think. So especially gratitude, you have a lot to be grateful for. Don't have a pity party. You know, okay, yeah, I fell, pick myself back up. Let's try it over again. Let me see. Okay, I get on the right track, straight and narrow. Let me see if I can help somebody else along the way. You know, you say you're going to a alumni celebration this week, and so I'm quite sure the stories that's going to be shared going to be enlightened, enriched with a whole lot of information that can help people. You think you may not, you may, well, these guys got it all together, but you never know, right?
Yeah, no one ever has it all together, but we still got to practice gratitude. Like think of the things that we're grateful for.
Yeah.
And so that keeps us on the right path.
On the right path. Absolutely. So we move right on. We moving right along. We got 10 of these we're going to touch on. And so number 4.
Yeah, me. All right. Being present for life.
Yes, sir.
Addictions are often used as a means to escape reality, serving as a conduit to not be present in one's life. Therefore, recovery from addiction naturally means that one should be facing reality more often. However, other forms of escapism may persist. Binge watching Netflix, social media, etc. Nonetheless, mindfulness practices that are often taught by addiction specialists in addiction treatment programs and in addiction therapy enforce the importance of being present for one's life. Mindfulness has become a critical therapeutic technique, often incorporated into cognitive therapy, dialectical behavioral therapy, and positive psychology, among others. Mindfulness affords an individual with the ability to be in the present moment, thereby being less focused on the past, which breeds depression, and less focused on the future, which breeds anxiety, both of which are common triggers of relapse. Being mindful also affords one with the ability to tune into their physical and mental states, observing thoughts, feelings, and sensations without judgment. Mindfulness is used in addiction therapy in a variety of ways, such as stress reduction technique, self-care tool, coping mechanism, relaxation technique, self-regulation, resiliency, and overall a mechanism for improving wellness for the body and mind.
Wow. I as you were reading, I was thinking about, the mindfulness techniques or tools that I've learned or doing my stay in recovery. we used to do what we call behavior modification. You familiar? You ever heard
No,
of
let's
that?
be, what's that?
It's more like a relaxation technique, which is called desensitization, whereas you try to picture yourself in a environment where there's less distraction on the outside, as if you was on a quiet beach, but you'll be sitting up, and it's basically behavior. And if you're feeling tense, you will let your arms go and close your eyes. You breathe and exercise, and you will do this about 5 to 10 minutes. That's some nice music going, or maybe a melody from the ebb and flow of an ocean. So it's just a picturesque thing. They call it desensitization, to try to get you to forget about so much chaos that's going on all around us. But it's a technique, it's a breathing technique. They ask you to breathe out, and then once you open your eyes, you feel, wow. I used to feel much lighter, like, oh, yeah, it's great. Can we do it again?
Yeah, no, it's good. It's different. It's like more tools in the toolbox to help us when we're going through a stressful situation or we have triggers that are making us want to use. I think a lot of my mental health, a lot like my physical health. Like I like going to the gym, or I like going for walks outside.
Yeah.
But when I go to the gym, I don't do the free weights every single time. Like sometimes I do the machines, or sometimes I'll do something else.
That's right.
And so knowing these other techniques, like the one that you mentioned, or the cognitive therapy, where you think of the consequences, like you remember the consequences of the actions.
ABC.
Yeah,
the ABC model. Yeah.
So,
Activating event, core beliefs, and consequences. Yeah, those things. They're very helpful. And so there's a whole host of things when we talk about coping skills. Another one is when you're feeling yourself getting in a state of anxiety, you may want to tell yourself to pause, breathe, relax, think about what's going on, or think about what's being said, and change that from negative, if there's a negative thought going on, with some positive ones. All right, let's go on. We're doing great. We're halfway home. Life is actually pleasurable. Life is actually pleasurable. Why did this article says that? Let's find out why. One reason that individuals find themselves addicted to drugs, alcohol, gambling, or other addiction is that it is the only thing in life that gives them pleasure. Due to the impact that addiction have on hijacking the brain's reward system, individuals who are addicted often report having a low mood, losing interest in other things they used to find pleasurable, and are able to find solace in their addiction. As such, they often do not find natural pleasure in life. Furthermore, withdrawal from alcohol or drugs such as opioids or benzodiazepines is probably the opposite of a pleasurable experience. Fortunately, recovery from addiction allows the brain to heal. Over time, the brain no longer becomes dependent on an addictive substance or an addictive behavior to bring pleasure. Right, you just talked about, your mind and your body, there's a correlation. The brain is able to produce natural feel-good chemical, simple things such as a beautiful sunrise or sunset. All right, desensitization, being surrounded by nature, eating a flavorful meal, intimacy with a partner, social outings. Okay, like this weekend, wonderful. Physical activities and other such natural life pleasures bring real joy to the person's life. Although the natural pleasures of life may not be as instantaneous or as stimulating as drugs such as cocaine or behaviors such as gambling, they are more sustainable, less harmful, and usually without consequences. Nice. Researchers in the field of psychology have also found that one thing that brings people pleasure is finding meaning in their life. See, number one, studies reflect that those with greater meaning in their life find life more pleasurable and also have greater psychological well-being. As such, individuals in recovery from addiction who have newfound meaning and purpose in life in turn may find life is pleasurable. Wow, I find this read to be true because I thought I had to have alcohol or drugs in my system to have a good time when I was under the influence of alcohol and drugs. But now being in recovery and sober, and I go to the events without having a drink or drug, and I just have a great time, man.
Mhm.
And it just blew my mind. Say, all these years, my thoughts process was distorted, you know. So, but let's move on. Number 6,
Number 6, resilience.
resilience. One of my favorites.
Alcohol and drug addiction can often cause feelings of helplessness, subsequently leading one to feel weak. Furthermore, people often contribute to the stigmatic nature of addiction by saying that individuals who are addicted to drugs, alcohol, food, gambling, or other addictive behaviors are weak-willed. However, as the majority of addiction professionals will attest to, addiction is not a matter of willpower, but rather is a matter of neurological changes in the brain, making it extremely challenging for individuals to reduce, stop, and stay stopped from their addiction. Anyone who has struggled with an addiction or has loved one who has struggled with an addiction can attest to the enslaving nature of drugs, alcohol, and other forms of addiction. A key element that highlights the brutality of addiction is relapse. Unfortunately, relapse rates from addiction are extremely high, with approximately 85% of individuals relapsing within their first year of recovery from drugs or alcohol, even after completing a drug and alcohol rehab program. As such, individuals in recovery take great pride in their recovery, as it is often one of the most challenging things they have done in their lives. In this way, recovery can teach the lesson that anything is possible if one sets their mind to it. Individuals in recovery know that they are not weak-willed individuals, but rather have just as strong of a willpower and mindset as anyone else, if not more. They are resilient and capable of whatever they set their mind to. According to the American Psychological Association, psychologists define resilience as the process of adapting well in the face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, threats, or significant sources of stress, such as family and relationship problems, serious health problems, or workplace and financial stressors. The ability to recover from an alcohol addiction or drug addiction certainly meets the criteria for resilience. The ability to overcome challenges is often referred to as self-efficacy in psychology. In turn, learning one's own resilience in the addiction recovery process can serve to foster the type of mindset and discipline that is necessary to be resilient in other ways when obstacles arise. As such, individuals in recovery are able to improve their life and maximize their potential.
Nice, nice. The next one, we talk about hope. I know this is a long article, and it's a lot to read, and so we're going to cover the majority of it, and then I think this will be it for today. But if you want to go online, you can, as I stated earlier, you can find this article at familyaddictionspecialist.com. Okay, and you can read it in its whole entirety. We're talking about today. Remember, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, but today we're talking about 10 lessons of addiction recovery that are rooted in psychology. And so a lot of this information that we've covered or read thus so far deals with a whole host of recovery in a lot of areas. And so we was able to touch on mental health, substance abuse, relationship issues, financial issues, spiritual issues. And so there is a whole host of material in this information in this material. So number 7, we're going to talk about hope. And as I stated earlier, this may be the last part that we're going to do for today. You all right with that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
That sounds good? All right. I don't want to bore you, but anyway, number 7, we'll cap it off with number 7. Hope is the belief that something will happen. It is also a cornerstone of addiction recovery. frequently highlighted in 12 steps meetings such as Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous. Individuals in recovery from addiction are often encouraged to have hope that their life will improve and that things will get better, even in the worst of times. In fact, an acronym for the word hope that is often tossed around the recovery community is Hold On, Pain Ends. Let me read that acronym again. Hold On, Pain Ends. That's the acronym for hope. Although hope may seem to be frivolous to some when it comes to battling a severe addiction, it is actually quite an important mechanism of change studied by many psychologists. For an example, hope theory, coined by psychologist Charles Snyder, emphasized the importance of hope as a primary agent of change. Without hope, Snyder believes that the determination to achieve a goal would not be present. Addiction recovery teaches individuals the importance of having hope in achieving their desired goals, be it sobriety or any other objectives they set out to achieve. Oh man, there's some great information. I seriously suggest that anyone that's watching this go online. You're doing yourself a disservice if you do not go online and grab this article in its entirety. Once again, this article is brought to us by FamilyAddictionSpecialist.com. Until the next week, stay healthy, stay safe, take care.
All right.
All right, we're